What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be building another clone base in just 24 hours. Now this is a part of a little bit of a series that I'm working on where I'm building different clone bases on different planets in order to widen my building experience and expand on different building techniques so I can get better and use them in my future mocks. For today, the planet that we're going to be visiting is Coruscant, and I don't want to build just any old plain clone base, so I'm going to be building a clone armory. Now I don't really have a plan for this yet, so I'm gonna go grab my base plates and I'm gonna go brick out a plan and then show it off to you guys. Okay, I know this isn't a very detailed layout, but I've got kind of what I want here. I'll try and explain it to the best of my ability, but right here on the back side is where the clone armory is going to be, and the front side I want to have some sort of battle going on. I'm not really sure what I want to do with that. And then this middle line thing is a train track. I think trains are really cool, especially in Star Wars. There's some pretty cool ones, so I've made my own. Here is the track that's going to be going on. It needs some stuff, and here is a bit of a I guess a prototype for the train. Depending on how much time I have, this is going to be what the train ends up looking like, but hopefully I can fix it up a bit so it doesn't look so not good, but it rides right along the track. I'll tile it off so it can be a bit smoother and there's not that like noise, but I think it's really cool and I think it's going to bring a lot to this mock. I think it'll look really cool. Here is going to be a big wall entering the clone base or the clone armory where this train can come through, bringing all of like the stuff that needs to be heavily guarded and can't just, you know, come in on a ship. And then this small little pillar area is going to be a big building, and I want to have a landing pad on the roof for a gunship. And then in that area is just going to be some open area for, you know, cargo and weapons, and then the big wall. And then the outside is going to be mostly plain because I want to stage a bit of a battle there. I want some people, probably some droids, coming to break in to steal some of the stuff from this armory. So this is pretty much the plan that I have laid out. I might make it change a little bit here and there, but I think it's time for me to get to work. I don't know what I want to start. I should probably start with the wall, so I'll get you a time lapse of me working on that. Okay, I have finished up the wall. I'm not really sure what I want to do for the detailing on this side. The other side, I have like the Republic logo and some other stuff, but I think I'm going to save all of the detailing for later. I've also tiled off this the railway, so this goes really smoothly now, and I think it's really nice and it doesn't make that really annoying noise anymore, so that's going to be fun. I'm debating whether or not that I want to bring this up another level because I think that that could look really cool. However, I'm working with not a lot of parts right now, and I still have to build a building here, which I already had to downsize given the parts. I'm working on another mock right now, which is also taking up a good amount of parts. I probably should have waited to do this video, but I wanted to get it out before I leave for college, so here we are. But so right here, I want to do a clone barracks. I was thinking about doing like a portable one where they kind of just set up, or like a small little permanent one. I'm not really sure how I want to do it yet, so I'm going to mess around with that in a little bit. But then basically that kind of, after I build this building, this whole area is going to be kind of done. I'll just have to tile it off and add in like all the detailing stuff and a bunch of crates and stuff. Unfortunately, there is no room for a gunship to fit on either side here, but maybe I'll do like a landing pad up top. We'll see. I want to see if I have time and if I have the parts to do that toward the end, and then I still have to find out what I want to do with the whole front area. But for now, I'm going to get to work on this barracks. Okay, my time-lapse bugged out a bit once again. I gotta get that fixed at some point because I keep losing my time-lapses, which makes these videos, you know, a lot less longer when they don't have all of the time-lapses in them. But I have finished the little bit of a clone barracks for now. I want to add more detailing if I have time because right now it's kind of plain, but I did get a nice interior in there. I'm gonna wait to show you guys until the end kind of reveal though, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But I think I'm gonna add some more detailing to the walls if I end up having time, just because it's very plain and boring, but for now I think it looks pretty good. I tried to get like the roof to look a little bit more Coruscant-y, I guess, like those weird kind of shapes and stuff. So I put this like weird disc up there. I think it looks okay. I might mess around with the roof some more later, but for now I want to see if I can build another building right here, because my original kind of like layout for this in my head was that there was going to be a taller building here, like flush with the top of the bridge where I could have a gunship land. Now, unfortunately, a gunship pretty big. It's going to take up like this much room. So I'll see what I can get done with that. I don't know how many like pieces I'm going to be able to get up. So I'm going to go mess around with that. I probably won't time lapse because it's just going to be me gathering pieces and like messing around with different designs. But once I get the design done, then we can actually build it and see if that's going to be possible. So I'll catch you guys after I figure all of this out. Okay, I messed around with the parts that I gathered up and I was able to make a pretty large addition to this area. The only issue is if I put the roof on, it's not going to be able to come off just given how I'm going to end up building it. But I think that's good enough. In here is just going to be like a big storage area given that this is a like clone armory. So that's where they're going to have all of their weapons and whatnot just put up in there. I should be able to detail it good enough, I think. But I think it's probably going to end up looking very similar to this. I'm going to just keep it. Of course, I need to get in there and do the detailing on the inside before it's all done, and it needs a better door than this. And the only other thing is that this would be where the gunship would go, would be up here. But given the size of this gunship, I don't think it's going to work out just because proportionally, you can see it does sit up there. Oops, but it is pretty huge, which, you know, kind of an issue when it comes to the proportions and the size in this. You don't want the huge gunship to be bigger than the entire base itself, pretty much. So I'm gonna go see. I can grab my Coruscant police gunship, and that should fit a lot better. So I'm gonna go grab that and see how that looks. Okay, the Coruscant police gunship just works so much better. It actually fits in the scale, and it's not like Goliath in comparison. It fits. I do have to fix it up a bit because this one's not complete. It's kind of messed up a little bit because I dropped it and I have not fully repaired it yet. So I'll have to see what I can do to fix it up. Maybe I'll do a little bit of mods on it, but this will look a lot better. It can actually land up here and have figures coming out of it, so that will be really cool. It could, I guess, also go over here. It doesn't really look proper. I think I'll have this here, and then up here I'll have some clones and defenses and whatnot, you know, to keep this nice and protected, and the train can still fit through nicely. I made sure that there is enough room so it didn't scrape against the edges, and I think this is really coming along pretty good. Now I think the next thing that I'm going to do is actually finalize this area over here, so I'll get you with a time lapse of me working on that. Okay, I've finished up all of the tiling for like the floor, and I've come across a bit of a predicament. I think the inside of the base looks really like good and filled out for this challenge, but the outside is just this like big open barren area, and I would love to put in buildings. That was the original plan, but I only have 2 hours left until my 24 hours is up, and I just don't have the pieces to do it. So I need to figure out what I want to do. I was thinking just doing like a battle and filling the empty space with tanks, but it really wouldn't make sense for there to be tanks on Coruscant. But, you know, I think we might just have to do it, you know, it doesn't really matter. We have to fill up this space somehow, and I don't have time or parts to build buildings. But other than like the issue with this whole up area, we're pretty much done. I just need to go in and do detailing stuff. I built this little anti-air cannon, which I think looks pretty cool. That's going to sit right up here, you know, to help defend the clone base. And then I have a bunch of clones and a bunch of crates to fill up. And I guess I'll just stage a pretty cool battle out here. I think that's really the only thing I can do. I wish that I could have done some like big buildings and stuff. I think that would have been really cool. It's just not in the cards for this mock challenge. So I'll get you with a time lapse of me finishing off this mock. I have finished the mock, and I have to say, I think this is one of my best 24-hour mock challenge mocks, I was able to try out a bunch of new styles and different things that I wouldn't normally do in other mock videos, and it was a lot of fun, and I think I learned a lot while building this mock, and there's a lot of like cool kind of like play features. I'm really happy that this train kind of came along as it did. It's super fun to just go back and forth, and I might honestly keep part of this built just to have the train and put it on display. I think it's a really cool idea, and I think it works really well. But let's get started on this mock. I guess we'll start outside on the battle area. This is the area that I'm most disappointed in, just given the time and pieces. I wasn't really able to bring this to the vision that I had in my head, but I think I did the best that I could. Starting on the right side, we have Midnight Squadron, who luckily happens to be on planet when this little droid invasion started, and they have come in with their Republic fighter tank to try and fight back the droid forces, and then the rest of Midnight Squadron is here on foot, easily pushing back the B1s. Now, as we move over to the left side, the commandos are having a bit more trouble with these super battle droids because they are a lot stronger than the normal B1s. So they've been pushed back to back in a bit of a final stand here. Not really sure if they're going to be able to take this out. You'll have to let me know in the comments if they're going to be able to make it out of this one alive. But they have their trusty sniper up there providing some cover fire, because the main goal is to get rid of this tank before it can cause any big damage on this armory. I also have this small little brick-built anti-air cannon, which I think turned out okay. I want to tweak the design to make it a bit more sleeker and use it in some other mocks, but I think it turned out pretty good. I do think this upper roof area is kind of just left plain, and I would have loved to bring it up another level and add more details. It just wasn't in the cards for this mock. I was able to do some detailing on the wall, and I think it's definitely better than the normal walls that I do. I do really like this archway, but next time I will definitely make it a bit more detailed. I want to do this in a larger scale mock. And now we get to the fun part, which is the inside. I think I'm going to cut because turning this around is a lot of work. It's really hard just given the size of the table. Now that I have the mock flipped around to the inside, we're going to start on top of the armory on the little landing pad where we have Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine, and Padme, who have come in to assess the situation via a Coruscant police gunship. I think that the use of this gunship is just a lot more convenient. The other gunship that I wanted to use is huge. It takes up the entire base plate, so it just wasn't going to work. This fits in scale a lot better in the retrospective, and I think it looks really nice. And I really like this little scene out here. We have them coming, and they're being greeted by a Commander Fox, a shock trooper, and just an officer to kind of brief them on the situation and what's going on. And I think this scene looks really nice, and it does look nice up there. I wish I could have done more with the roof like I was saying earlier, but it just wasn't in the cards for this mock. But we'll move in. I guess while we're at this angle, we will go to the inside of the little clone barracks, which I think turned out pretty nice. It's kind of hard to get you an angle in there, but we'll see. In here, once again, we have Commander Fox, his doppelganger. I used the nice custom one up there because it looks cool, and that's the one that's like exposed. And I used the kind of not so great official one in here because he's hidden away. But he is talking to one of his shock troopers over a holo table to kind of get the situation under control and figure out their plan. Well, this guy runs to get a weapon off the weapon rack. And over here, we've got another one who has a bit of a crippling Bacta addiction and needs to hit the Bacta before he goes out to battle. And then there's some beds there in like that little medic area. But if we move over here, we have Cad Bane hiding behind some cargo. The truth behind this whole invasion is it's all a distraction to draw the clones out of the base so Cad Bane can steal a holocron that is being stored in here. That's kind of the story that I came up with. So he's hiding back here behind these crates. I don't know why he's like reflecting so much light. That's kind of move that up. There you go. Now you can actually see him a little better. But he's hiding back here waiting for his opportunity to strike. And I guess there's not much. I guess you have the other side of this little anti-air cannon and the commando, but that's pretty much all there is for this side. So let's move on to the rest of the inside of the clone base. It's just kind of hard to switch around just given the size of the table and the size of the mock. As you come in here, you get a better view of everything else. And you can see the nice train track and the whole thing. I really like how this turned out. Like I was saying earlier, you can push it through all the way through and it just slides really cleanly and it's really nice. And this is like a armored cargo. So whenever they have important stuff, the train can come in and deliver it safely without getting intercepted. So it comes in just like this, and then the doors open up as doors would open, and then they can unload the cargo. But we'll get that out of the way so we can actually look at some of the other details in here. I guess we'll start with the front of this clone barracks. It is very kind of simple. It's just a little archway with some maroon stuff, and it's just a big gray box, to be honest. I tried to get some details going in there with like some little slopes and stuff just to make it less boring. I think it turned out okay. There's a little mouse droid here just going around. to deliver some info. I don't actually know what mouse droids do, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but maybe I'll look that up. If you know what mouse droids do, leave it down below in the comments so I can know for the next time. And then for the roof, I thought this flat design was really boring. And when you look at Coruscant, they have all like those weird shapes on top of the roofs. So I put this small little disc piece up there just to make it look a little more like, I don't know, a bit more less boxy, and I think it turned out really cool, and I think it fits, and I think it looks really cool. And then the last kind of thing that we have to look at for the inside of this mock is this little area right here, the entrance to the cargo holding area, where we have 2 clones who are bringing in this big crate that just came off of the little train, which I'll move back to where it was so it fits this a little better. Just got dropped off by the train, and they're unloading it and bringing it into the cargo room where it is safe. And there's just a ton of other like crates and cargo there that have to go in. Now, unfortunately, the roof is not removable, just given how I made this. I didn't have the time to like tile it perfectly to make it so I can just pull it off and on. So you can't really get in there. You can kind of see it's just tiled off and it has a bunch of cargo. Like, there's nothing really special in there. Now, I do kind of not like that that's how this worked out, because it's a lot of wasted space, but it was necessary to have this completely enclosed and sturdy so we could have the nice upper area. And I think that was a trade-off that I was willing to make. But next time that I do a mock like this, I definitely want to make this interior accessible so it's not just wasted space. Now that does kind of do it for the mock. That's all that there is, and I had a lot of fun building this mock, and I had a lot of fun working on this like challenge series of building different mocks on different planets like in 24 hours. So if you have any planets that you would like me to build a clone base on, leave them down below in the comment section below, and maybe I'll pick one to do my next clone base on. It really just depends on what I'm feeling that day and what I really want to do. And if you enjoyed this mock and would like to see more mocks like it, be sure to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to see more videos in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew, signing out.